It's your call, Cameron.
Yep.
It's ahead.
So
Thanks,
Chris
guys.
Newman wins the toss for the Tigers. They kick to the city end on a sunny, bright day with a good crowd down there and plenty of atmosphere. And it's a good afternoon to you, Ricky Olorenshaw.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bruce. You're right. There's a real buzz down here. I think the fans from both teams are really expecting to have a win today. And good to see a first gamer in Andrew Collins playing for the Tigers. The kid from Bendigo, who's picked up as the last selection in the 2006 draft. He kicked 4 goals for Coburg last week. It was a real presence that he put on the game. It really impressed the Richmond coaches. So expect him when he comes on to play midfield or half forward. But on the other end of the spectrum is Jordan McMahon, who the Tigers have brought back into the lineup. Who's recruited for his ability to use the footy. There's someone that Terry Wallace has staked his coaching future on. There's already plenty going on the field already. It's a free kick played before the first bounce, so I'll let you blokes take over.
Got a report, actually. Not sure who got reported, but a bit going on.
Robbie Warnock got reported there, number 37 there for a jumper punch on Tommy Hislop.
Okay, so Hislop, the former Bombers, going to have the first kick of the game. After the siren, there you go. Umpire James hands Hislop the ball. He goes short to one of the Nortons.
On the 50.
Well within range here too, Dennis. Assurente got a couple of shots in the warm-up and they made the distance easily. He actually had the wrong flight on the wind. He didn't pick that up correctly, but he's had a couple of shots now, so let's just make sure that he hangs it out to the right and it should draw back nicely.
Noel and Valder cross their fingers. There goes the kick from Morton. It's a beautiful effort. Oh, they're back on the MCG, the real one, and through it goes.
Gee, Tim, you picked that all right. Right to left.
Well, we were standing out there on the ground and we're standing there doing our pre-game before the players went inside, and he had one long shot almost from an identical position before the players went back up the tunnel into the dressing rooms, and he hung that one out too far and there was no movement whatsoever, but this time he just read it beautifully, and that's a wonderful start for Richmond. That is the start they wanted. And there's a time for aggression. Unfortunately, from Robbie Warnock, that is not the right time to apply aggression.
So a sensational start here.
So that's Matthew. Robbie, of course, is his younger brother playing at Carlton.
Sensational start with a report and a goal, and Melbourne haven't touched it yet. So the Tigers by 6 points. They want 4 at the end of the day, like the D's.
My ball.
Melbourne are really going to have to match their aggression at the right time. You know Richmond are going to come here to play today, given the week they've had. But it has to be directed at the ball.
Delidio was down low, then Foley to Moore to Rance. Bate was pretty good there and put the pressure on. Moore just overran it, and then Jackson. 3 Melbourne players around him, so good sign for the D's early.
Daniel.
That is a good sign because they stayed with the ball, those Melbourne players. The ball hadn't gone out of their near vicinity. They stayed with it and they were able to hold up the Tigers.
Just a glorious day. High bounce from umpire James. Down with Bowden. Graham has taken the ground.
My ball. Guys, watch out behind me.
Umpires today, James, Wynn and Finley.
Come on. Thanks, guys.
And sometimes umpire James makes a rod for his own back. He bounces it so high, a lot of players have got time to arrive at the scene. Meeson could have been hung on to there. Foley, clever, got boot to ball, advanced at about 15 metres. Going back and slipping over was Rivers. And then he grabs Hislop. Advantage won't be paid. It will come back. The 2:27s tying up there.
Took his eye off the ball there too, Rivers. He just had to stay with it. Caused the fumble.
Hislop goes in very short, and the mark is taken by Brown alongside the centre circles. Goes to the outer side. Now a real chance. Bowden kicks from about 80. Downwards full forward. From behind, getting a fist on it was Warnock. Fell in front. Jackson's kick was smothered. Well done by Bruce.
Did very well, didn't he? And then Meeson's handball okay. Bruce arched his back. One bounce. Poor kick. So one captain to another.
Gee, that hurts you when you don't make that kick stick coming off half back.
Newman, so Bowden another disposal. In short, this is Connors. Well, it looked good off the boot, but it went straight to Warnock. Squares it up. Sylvia gets back to Morton. So both the Mortons an early touch. Mitch with the goal. That one a rather sloppy old kick, but it got to McLean, who's under pressure. Goes back inside to Sylvia. one of a number of Melbourne players with the head pretty much shaved today. Davey.
Gee, that's an ambitious kick.
I'll say Richardson got in the road. Now 50. He was claimed after he took the mark. 3 Tigers in the vicinity there around Dunn. And that kick demanded something of Dunn. And as it turns out, he didn't do the right thing.
And you have to say at this stage both sides are playing like bottom sides in the competition. Their ability to control the ball in the early stage of this game. There's a little bit of wind out there, but not enough to bother a normally good kick like Aaron Davey. It was a decision-making error there.
Matthew Richardson comes in, and a sense of deja vu. I've seen him do that before. Richo, bit of a smile too. Last week he wasn't happy about the delivery into the forward line on occasions.
He hasn't been accurate this year. 4-7 and 4-5 from set shots.
That's a better kick from Davey.
Here's Rivers. He's played very little footy in the last couple of years. A lot of injuries. He goes down the line. Johnson the target. Graham with him.
Young Frawley's picked up Nathan Brown. He's playing deep inside the Richmond forward line. I think that's a good move. That's where he's most dangerous, when his kicks really count.
So Graham wins the tap, did well. Got it to Tuck. Tuck's kick. Revolt, not revolt. Connors again, so doing well. Foley just corralled by Bartram. Lovely kick. That's better. Richardson decides not to kick it this time. Gives it to Deledio, and he misses.
Couple more.
And that's when Richo becomes really dangerous, when he floats forward with the play. He can go back and cause a nuisance across half back for the opposition, but he's really dangerous if he can present anywhere around 50.
Frawley in the pocket. Bruce goes very wide. Bartram.
Got to carry this to Miller.
Runs the outer wing into Mines. Dunn. Bartram. They didn't play that too well. Now they're under pressure. Down goes Bowden, coming through his Bate, left the footy behind. Tuck was tackled, jarred out of there, taken by Miller. That's better. Jones took it in stride, goes inside the 50. Jones, long kick, hit the post.
Good effort. Miller was very good there a minute ago.
Well, that's the pressure they have to apply to this Richmond back line. And that's one of the reasons why there's been so many turnovers in Richmond's play in the first 3 games, because they have come up against the best sides in the competition, and they do apply enormous pressure to you.
Polo gets it from Bowden. Polo's got the job on Green, and then Bowden over the top to Deledio. So the Demons, that's the only time they've been inside the 50, and we've been playing about 7 minutes. Just had to search for Rance. Back to Miller, and then Rivers gets a free kick from the back. It's
Rivers right now.
Not one for the highlight reel right now, as Rivers goes wide.
Miller, forward of the wing, looks down towards half forward, coming in a lead down there. Petterd thumped away, in front, going nowhere.
Well, there was a very interesting collision there between Johnson and the field umpire. In fact, the field umpire got in his way, and he just pushed him with an arm, and that may be one that we're talking about in the next 48 hours after this game.
Johnson was the man who was tackled there. Coming through Petterd once more, gets a hand pass away. Deledio kept it in front. Moore's got it now. Hot one for Rance. In goes Morton, did well. Gets a hand pass across to support there. McLean bounces it downwards, full forward, taken high. Polo will get the free.
Gee, that was a sharp handball there by Morton to McLean to put him in space. It was a beauty. He just had to go lower there with his tackle. Green started too high and then gave away a free kick.
So Graham had a bad ankle injury a couple of years ago, which set him back last season. Polo short. Jackson. And now McGuan. So Richmond, slow build up this time. Trying to find a loose man to penetrate. Bowden, normally a good guy to go to in this situation. Just strolls away. He'll probably take a third bounce. He does. Now Richardson's gone short for him here, and he'll go to Richardson. Just too tall the kick, but it's a free kick. And Richo still gives him a bit of a golf ball, I think.
Time back on.
He's a towering figure, isn't he?
Yeah, that's just a height mismatch there.
And then Richardson short, and it got there. Hislop again.
You've got to ask yourself the question, though, don't you? Why are players just zoning grass at that stage of a play forward? Why is somebody like this, like Tommy Hislop, allowed to just drift into that hole? Gee, that's poor defence.
Well, he earned the first free kick, which resulted in a Morton goal, and that one he won't be pleased about. The D's with a bit of a chance.
Emerging with the ball down there was Frawley. Dunn on one knee. That was well done. Morton tried to slip it out, taken high as Brown. He'll get the free kick. So Nathan Brown will line up from about 30 metres out on a slight angle.
Got you line. Max here. Okay, son.
Let's watch it again as Morton rolls on, no doubting the free kick. Brown comes in and steers it through. Richmond have made a good start.
There are reasons throughout games why Nathan Brown would end up across half-back, getting some kicks, maybe bringing himself into the game. Maybe they just need somebody who's a better ball controller. But where he's most damaging is if he can play within about 40 metres of goal. There's definitely a free kick. That's a second free kick against a poor tackling technique against Melbourne. Just he went in too high again, but this is what this bloke does best. Kicking goals, creating goals, assisting goals.
So Brown and Morton, the goal scorers so far. Tim, you mentioned that incident a moment ago. Look, bottom right.
Here's the contact, bottom right hand of the screen. Yeah, just pushing the umpire in the back. And look, I know it's only just light contact, but that's what the umpires have been on again about the last couple of weeks, making that sort of contact.
Well, let's see.
Arms around the footy.
I mean, you've got to accept that at different stages of the game, umpires are going to occupy space that the players want to occupy. But they've clearly spelled out that they have the right of way.
Robert Finlay, the umpire there. Paul Johnson now. Jones to Davey. He's been getting a lot of the footy, Davey, in the last couple of weeks. Bruce, Maloney. Got a pretty poor bounce. Now Burnell. Trying to get to Newton, couldn't quite, and then Bate. Important player, Bate, I reckon. He's a good barometer for Melbourne. He's got a lot of ability. Sort of day, if he could kick 4 or 5, it would make the difference. McMahon, he needs a good game. Gets it back in the 1-2, and then down the line's good, and gets to revolt.
Melbourne's current kicking efficiency is about 60%. Richmond is 75%, and it's showing in the way the two sides are moving the ball.
Jackson, McMahon. Collins gave it across to support, touched off the boot of Newman, slipping over as White. Davey took him down. Well done by Collins. Run down is Newman, close to the boundary line. Morton hooks it back and just misses. How about a novelty bet, Tim? The Mortons won't get as many possessions this afternoon as Gary Ablett last night.
46. What a game he played.
Yeah, well, not many guys celebrate their 150th, going close to 150 possessions. We look forward to his 200th. There goes the kick from Green down towards half forward. That's a terrific mark. McGuan in front. Plays on. Newton had the leap on him. Here's Foley. Newton a good chase, but then he went to ground. Foley into the oncoming player. Eventually, though, it spills to Tuck, who kicks towards half forward, and Richardson taken by Green to Dunn, looking to find a way through. No way through, so he heads for the boundary. Talking about the umpires too, the emergency this afternoon here at the MCG is Scott McLaren, who's in the news.
A knee right into the back there. That hurt McGuan. He stayed in the hands of the trainers for a minute or two there.
Melbourne against you, Troy.
So the free kick to Meeson. Now Green, normally a good user, gets the ball to centre half forward. Newton was the target again. Newman to Moore, and then Moore comes wide. Richardson, she covers some ground, doesn't he? What an athlete he is, still at 34 years of age. Polo back to Richardson. Now Simmons, another one of their veterans. Played in some big matches for Melbourne, of course, here. Famous one with Michael Long. Well, Newton's a bit lucky there.
Right there.
This is the kick. This next kick has to hit a target.
Well, interesting, Tim. Not exactly what you wanted. Here's Jackson. Not sure what Green was trying to do, but he's trying to get it back. But Jackson was terrific to Simmons, and then Simmons out wide, and White can go and run.
Loves this situation. Spears the pass inside. Naha slipped, left the ball behind. Over the top. Melbourne able to force it away. Standing up in a tackle. Meeson gave it across to Maloney. He gave it to Bate. Driven around the outer side, then down towards right half forward by Bennell. And it goes across the line in front of Johnson.
Their kicking has been horrendous, Melbourne, in the early part of this game. That coming out before from the middle of the ground there by Green. And the reason why he couldn't hit a target going forward was the fact that there was only one player inside their attacking 50, and that was Davey, and he was opposed to 3 players.
Here's Maloney. Newton. It's a good kick by Maloney. Now that's not paid, but Newton's left foot is a behind. So Newton, mark of the year a couple of years back, and he did that all right, except didn't quite finish off.
Showed a trick or two then, didn't he?
And so McMahon gets it back to Newman.
Right, now they've got them trapped. A win for Melbourne will be a kick to a contest. That's good.
And then more straight to Maloney, to Davey, and then Davey to Green. That's better.
That's the first time they've been able to hit a target inside their attacking 50, Melbourne.
Jack, where you are? Get with him then.
It's in pretty good hands too.
7 goals, 1 from set shots this year, Green. He's a good finisher. So just outside the 50, probably right on the 50 as he kicks it. Looks good off the boot. It's a good goal. Well done.
Well, the story of this game could very well be Melbourne's ability to hit targets when they go inside their half, and they've been poor in the first 10, 12 minutes of this game. They haven't been able to do that. That was a good zone, though. They actually trapped the ball in there, and then Davey, that was a smart kick, and that's where you'd like him to have the ball, just forward of the centre. And generally, he kicks with great penetration, great speed through the air, and on that occasion, it was the right option to go laterally and hit the target of Green.
Just an injury concern for the Tigers. Tom Hislop has come off with a corked hip. The other thing I've noticed here on the bench is that obviously Dean Bailey's not happy with the start because he's already made about 12 changes, including key players Miller, Davey, McLean and Green. All have had stints on the interchange bench.
Maloney through midfield, kicks it down towards half forward. Taken down McMahon. Got it out to Moore. He gave it across to Bowden, who kicks to the outer side. Nahas.
I think Terry Walsh has now decided too that Matthew Richardson, the most dangerous position he can be on the ground today is deep in the forward line. He's been picked up by Warnock. He's playing out of the goal square. He's got a decided height advantage in that battle.
Oh dear. Missed by Connors. White tried to give it to him, and as a result Sylvia goes down towards right half forward. Jetta from about 80 metres out. Newton.
There's a very good mark. I'm not sure he chose the right option there. Jetta had players inside, and I thought he was kicking to a 2-on-1, but that was great play there by Newton. Just watch this kick. It actually favoured Newton.
It was Bowden who was against him, so he had the edge there.
I thought the other Richmond player was going to be able to come into that contest.
I think it's a truism, though, that the more times bad teams handle the footy, bad things happen. So you kick it down there. Newton takes the mark. He'll kick from about 30, 45-degree angle. This to tighten the game right up, and he misses. Can't afford that this afternoon.
So he's had a mixed start, Newton. He's won the ball a bit, but a couple of behinds. McMahon very short. Now Moore back to McMahon, who's about to kick it. Again a careful kick. McGuire's okay now after that knee in the back from Newton. Polo's got hold of it. Foley, he's one player that can break a line with some pace. McMahon. Bowden. Good mark by Rance. Quickly on, he's shown a bit in his first couple of games. back to Bowden, getting a lot of the ball, and then he loads up with a long one.
Oh,
Marked it. That's
Good
it.
mark on
That's
Moore.
good. Play on. Mate.
Kicks away, and that's a kick to centre half forward. It was kicked for Hislop, but Jones, who's always got a lot of guts and courage, and he came in and filled the hole very well.
Good work by McLean here. It's really opened up.
McLean forward of half back beyond the wing. Petterd. Newton offers his shepherd, but the kick is terrible. Hit McGuan on the Dick Smith. He goes across the ground. Moore breaking for him. Graham. He's got it. Left half back, looks to the middle. That's an ambitious kick too. It bounces. Foley trapped it pretty well. Gives it to White. White runs to the centre circles, coughs it up to Dunn. Now an opportunity for Bate. Bate across towards McLean. McLean goes to the pocket, stretching. Miller takes the mark.
Joel, come back. Joel, play off.
Oh, why? That's why. Why? I asked my original question. He's hit the post.
Come out, guys.
Got to go back and take your time.
Seemed in a rush, didn't he? So Melbourne with a few chances in the last 5 minutes. So as Tim said, Richardson was asked to go to the goal square, and it looked dangerous, but he's had to come up the ground to get a sniff of the footy. It hasn't been forward for a while for the Tigers, and he's blown that one.
At this stage, Richmond have had 92 possessions to Melbourne's 56, so you'd have to say they're overhandling the ball, the Tigers, as well. And they're giving Melbourne plenty of opportunity to put on their disposal.
Wait there, wait. Jack, 2 metres.
And you couldn't really say Melbourne are using it all that well either, Tim. So Johnson back. Rivers. Now, this should open up here. Green.
Come back inside.
A couple of running bounces and then goes with a long ball. Petterd completely outnumbered. Bate overran it. Rance doing well. Little give.
Not correctly disposed when tackled.
Said that the handball wasn't
Incorrect disposal.
correct. So Petterd with a free kick. So the Demons with a chance. Here's Sylvia.
Kicks it inside the forward 50 then, pushing the back, I thought. Umpire James had a perfect view of it. Maloney gets to his feet, snaps and hits the other post. They've got those goals surrounded now, Melbourne. Back-to-back posters. Rance has got the football. Tigers wasting no time. Jetta quick to close. Foley's away. Margin is 4 points. Foley running the MCG, carries the ball. Nahas stopped the ball. They stopped him. Spills out of there. Melbourne increasing the tempo. Sylvia still over the football. Sylvia spills out. White opportunity. Maloney took him down. It was a strong tackle. Holding the ball. Maloney.
Tackle was legal.
Strong son of a gun. Well, as we see, it wasn't legal. It was a little bit high.
Green been busy in the last 5-10 minutes. It's a good kick to Dunn. Dunn. Well, that was asking a lot of Miller, and then McGuan. Well done, Miller. Terrific tackle, free kick.
Their tackling in the last 5 minutes has been really impressive, Melbourne. Richmond over possessing the ball. Their decision making has been appalling, and
Jody, where you are as a mark.
made the most of that tackle. Now he has to finish it off.
Jetta. He's kicked a couple, Tim. He kicked one against North in the opening round and got a goal against Port Adelaide last week. Just 19 years of age. One of 3 teenagers out there for the D's today. And so this to put Melbourne in front. How many times is that, Dennis?
3. Is it 4?
Well, Josh says 4.
Well, I won't argue with him. That's their last 3 scoring shots, I think, have been posters, haven't they?
Yep.
Meantime, again, the Tigers bringing it in quickly. And Bowden runs the outer side. Couple of bounces. Carries it up towards the wing. Kicks down towards half forward. Plenty of Melbourne players back. Martin missed it in the air. Found it on the ground. Did well. Little look away hand pass from Bennell. Get across to Warnock. Green. A hand pass towards half back. Under pressure. McLean. Well, Read by Richardson. Oh, gee, was unlucky. Frawley was lucky when he slipped over as well. All the luck running with Melbourne.
No.
Morton gave it to support, but the hand pass was poor. Came from Bartram. Finishes up okay. Sylvia back to Jones. Jones the short one. Green and Rance met at the football. The two number 18s. And Melbourne's player is down and hurt. That's Brad Green. He really felt that one. Meantime, Simmons has got the football. Not sure what he thought there. Little one from Jetta. Not thought through either. But the mark is taken down there by McGuan. It's a lively game.
Bowden with a 10th disposal and finds Simmons. He was off. And Johnson was strong on the tackle there with Brown. Couldn't quite get down. Now Brown's got a problem.
I'll have it. No prior opportunity.
Richmond at the moment have 30 more possessions than Melbourne, but in the last 10 minutes, they've only taken the ball inside their 50 on one occasion. So all their players been across half back through the midfield, but they just haven't been able to penetrate.
Simmons over the top. White to Foley. And then Foley goes back to Tuck. And then Tuck tight on the pocket. Nahas the target.
Holding! Advantage, advantage.
So the free kick to the Demons. And Morton finds Bruce, who lazily goes over the top.
McLean made it look okay. Here's Frawley, famous name in footy, storming through midfield. Long, it's one-on-one all the way. And Miller did so well in the approach to that ball. A lot of buffeting, and he was the stronger man.
And that is the right kick for that situation when you're coming through the centre of the ground, and what you're facing is a 2-on-2 situation, and that's exactly what they had there. They had the right numbers there, Melbourne. And in the end, it was just the body strength of Miller. We haven't seen that on too many occasions, though. Generally, Richmond have had that spare number across half back, and therefore there's been the hesitation with the ball carrier.
Clock is down to 14 seconds. A goal here. And the Demons will lead at quarter time. Miller, avoid those posts. He has. He went close, but it's a goal. Melbourne in front. They lead by 3 seconds out from quarter time.
Well, that's what he can do. One-on-one, he's okay. There is McLean picking the ball up cleanly, and this is one area of his game that he does have to improve. Even that one didn't come cleanly off the boot, but it just carried. It was a good one-on-one contest, and he had the benefit of more body strength in that contest, but they haven't really been able to just get those one-on-one contests in their forward line, Melbourne.
So Terry's seen enough. He's on his way down with only seconds remaining. So Melbourne have come back pretty well here. Dominated the second half of this opening term. Had a lot more of the scoring. And they lead by 3 points. So quarter time with a bit going on here as it did at the start of the match. It's Melbourne by 3 over Richmond. It's 2-6 to 2-3.
Come on, boys, split up.
Been pretty aggressive, the Demons, haven't they? Right from the start when Warnock was reported. And they made some inroads late and hit the front with a late goal from Miller. So at quarter time, in the battle between two teams without a win, it's Melbourne by 3 points over Richmond. Plenty of major ball. This is the big hit with the two 18s.
Yeah. That looked like it might have been a cheekbone there. He came up holding his face. So I saw him disappear down into the rooms. It may be a jaw or cheekbone type injury. Let's head down to Ricky and find out exactly what is the injury concern there with Brad Green.
I reckon you're just about spot on there, Tim. It's a really courageous effort by both players. And as you said, Brad Green has now gone down into the rooms with the medicos. He was bleeding from his mouth, and they're now down there checking his jaw and his cheekbone. So real concern on Brad Green. The other player in that incident was Alex Rance. He's come off with very sore ribs, but I think we'll see him again in this quarter. And the other one who went down the rooms for some treatment was Luke McGuan. We know he got poleaxed in that first quarter, but he looks like he's okay to go, but he's going to start this game on the interchange bench. And the nice little thing about Richmond is they've been out-tackled in every game this year. Again, the tackle count is 10 to 17 Melbourne, so it's another area in the game they are falling down on.
Their clanger count's right up too. If you look at disposals in that first quarter, Richmond 18 clangers, that's by hand and by foot. Melbourne 12. Uncontested possession, Richmond 90. And Melbourne 51 contested, 23 Richmond 32. So they're trying to play an uncontested brand of football, Richmond, but they're letting themselves down with their clangers by hand and by foot. And I reckon Melbourne actually, the longer that first quarter went, the more confidence they actually got in their own ability to be able to pressure the Richmond disposal, win the ball themselves. And really it's going to be a question of whether they can find some targets when they go forward. When they get over halfway, whether or not there's going to be able to be players that find some space in their forward line to present themselves.
Start of the second term of the MCG Sunday football. Melbourne lead by 3 points, and they hit the post 4 times in the opening term. Generally, you would take that. Rance a fumble going through. Bate left the ball behind. Graham went to ground. Bate tackled from behind. And the umpire will do it again. I think quarter time came at a good time for Richmond. Melbourne really rolling. Maybe Terry Wallace has been able to get his players to regroup. Diving after it, Bruce on his knees, needs to be careful now, slaps it out. Interesting there by Meeson.
Knee in the back.
Well, you wouldn't have known what you were arriving to tackle there. Meeson was doing things that people don't normally do.
Has it gone?
Laying on his back.
That's right. Ball comes across the ground now, taken by Warnock.
Lots of people do that, Bruce.
Warnock goes in short. Dunn, I knew what he meant. Bruce and I understand each other, Tim. You just stay out of it. The ball goes down towards half forward. Juggling the mark is Morton.
Right out behind. Right out.
So Morton about 75 metres out. Melbourne, certainly since midway through the opening term, looking the better team. Goes down towards full forward. Newton can jump from behind. Petterd can jump too. And the ball goes across the boundary line.
And they put a bit more pressure on the scoreboard here, Melbourne, because Petterd over the top. Newton, we know, can be a high flyer. Miller takes a pretty good mark as well. So Tim talked about that unpredictability before the game of the Melbourne forward line. Bowden a lot of the ball in the first quarter, and that one he got a beautiful bounce. That was well done if he meant it.
Very lucky.
He got the right break, didn't he?
Well, Richmond have pushed all their players up the ground. The Melbourne defenders have gone with them, so there's an overload in the forward half for Melbourne at the moment. Plenty of space if Richmond can break free and handle the ball efficiently from here.
So Graham doing a lot of the ruck work. Meeson, second effort okay. Foley on hands and knees. McLean in there over the top.
On the ball, you dived on it, Brock. But
So coming back.
Brock McLean's kick. You dived on the footy and it came in. I didn't see it come out, Shane. Brock just towards the boundary.
So Tuck and McLean.
If you dive on the ball, though, Bruce, you're going to be penalised.
Yep.
Umpires have spelt that out loud and clear. You must try and get rid of the ball immediately if you're going to dive in there.
Two of the good clearance players, aren't they? Both of those. McLean. And about 3 minds there, McLean, when he went forward. Wasn't quite sure. Graham at the back. Jetta kicks the goal. Melbourne sneak away.
He might have been in 3 minds. He chose the right option in the end, and that was to just penetrate deep inside the forward line, get a contest at the top of the square. There's a free kick against Tuck. It was deemed that he dragged the ball in underneath him. But here's the kick to the top of the square. They get a contest, 3 against 2. Ball goes to ground, and that's just a simple off the ground there for Jetta. That is just one of those old-fashioned goals, Dennis.
We love them, Tim. We love them. And that's what Newton needs to do. Split the packs. He's got a wonderful leap. Don't worry about finessing on the ground, body to body. Just get it on the deck, and they've got speedsters to arrive. So suddenly, Melbourne sneak away, as Bruce said. The margin is 9 points. Tigers need the next goal. Sylvia got the arms free. Petterd. I think those groans you heard were from Richmond supporters as the ball comes out towards the wing. Takes a Melbourne bounce. The hand pass came back inboard. Davey's over it now. McLean, I'm not sure what he was thinking initially, but it worked out okay for the D's. Rivers has it. McLean again, forward of the wing. Looks inside the forward 50. Runners alongside. Sylvia is one. Goes long towards full forward. Richardson is headed back. It's a goal. Sylvia.
I reckon only Sylvia's mother would have thought that he'd been able to kick that goal from there. It was a magnificent kick, but the most impressive thing about Melbourne then was when that ball broke out onto the wing just down below us here in the commentary position. There were 4 Melbourne players and 3 Richmond players. They overran the ball, but they had the numbers there to support. And they're full of confidence at the moment.
It's been good, McLean.
That was a wonderful kick by Sylvia. And Tim, I'm sure Sylvia's mother was a one-eyed supporter. Yep.
You've hooked me.
Let's go.
So the D's have had the last 9 scoring shots and the 12 of the last 14 inside 50. So they've kicked 4 goals, 5 since Richmond's last score. Do you know that 5-foot putt downhill we were talking about, Tim? It's just become 6 foot. Though that doesn't help. Jetta's kick to Richardson. Richardson wide. He wants Morton, but that was a very slow kick, and Martin had plenty of time to ping that off. Nahas was quick there.
And that's the kick that Dean Bailey, the coach of Melbourne, was talking about during the week, the fact that players sometimes still choose the wrong option. They still don't make their kicks hit their targets. And on that occasion, it summed up Melbourne and their young players that they're just trying to blood and get to 50, 60 games, that experience, but they're going to make mistakes from time to time.
Delidio. Frawley was just being held on to maybe by Brown, and Frawley, whose attack earlier in the first quarter resulted in a Miller goal, but that's not a good kick.
In the back.
Oh, he's getting a free against.
2 actions.
Heard the umpire against McGuan, so Johnson to Meeson. Now Warnock to centre half forward. Miller the target. Bate with a half a chance here. He's a left footer, remember. Back to Sylvia. He just overplayed it, but back to Miller. Left foot goal. The Tigers are in trouble.
Well, Melbourne are just monopolising the ball in the second quarter. 26 disposals to 6. Richmond can't get their hands on the pill. Here's the free kick. Oh, here's the contest again. They've got such an unpredictable forward line too. They're actually all mobile forwards, Melbourne, and it's meaning that this back line of Richmond's just can't get settled, but they're also getting plenty of supply from their midfield. There's Jimmy. Hasn't he shown some talent over the years? He actually marked that ball behind the goals.
I think Jimmy Steins will count this as another game. I mean, he played all those in a row. That was a good mark.
Lost nothing.
I'll tell you what, that's a place to sit when you're winning too.
Don't want to show too much form for either one of these two clubs, otherwise you'll be pressed into service. There goes the bounce, but Melbourne for the moment looking irresistible. Jones with courage goes after the footy. Foley kicks his side down towards half forward. Awkward bounce taken by Morton. No support.
Numbers
Hand
again.
pass to his own advantage. All Melbourne around the ball. McLean stood up in a tackle. Did nicely. And they'll bring it away once more. Bartram to the wing. Taken by Johnson. Johnson gives it across to Jones. Plenty of time. Jones back to Johnson. Johnson from 70 metres out. Long ball once more. Hangs a long time in the air. Petterd was hanging on perhaps. Well, it's going to be a Melbourne free. I saw it the other way.
Thanks, Chris.
Martin did well across
good
half back
contest
after
until
they
you
were
held him.
under pressure.
Thanks, Ricky.
Set it up from the back.
That's it,
Again,
Umpire
a quick
ruling.
thrust.
Yep, and that was really good play though, also by Johnson, to recognise that he had to carry the ball a little bit further because they'd built a wall of players. His first kick would have gone there. The second option after the run cleared that.
Petterd comes in, important kick. They are on a roll.
Let's go right back to that half-back again, because when the ball spilt out, Morton had control of the ball. The ball spilt out. It went to 4 of Melbourne players. There was just 1 Richmond player there. They're not working hard enough at the moment, the Tigers. They've just been blown away by a young side that has a sniff at the moment, and they've got to wrestle the control and the momentum of this game back.
That long ball in too is getting Richmond very nervous at the back.
We said at quarter time there's real concerns about Brad Green after that incident in the first quarter when he collided with Rance. Well, the story is that an ambulance has been called and he will be going to hospital. So I'll keep you updated on what news I get on about Brad Green.
And Chin, you'd reckon, Tim, before the game he'd almost be Melbourne's most important player, wouldn't you, Green?
Yep.
Kicked their opening goal. The last 5 inside 50s, Melbourne have kicked 4 goals. So this is a moment
Look at this.
for the Tigers, isn't it? How do they respond here? Jetta inside. Newton, terrible kick. That's awful.
He was on then too, Miller. He'd broken away. There were 3 defenders. Richmond defenders went to the dangerous space. They thought the ball was going again to the top of the square.
So Rance away. A likely young Colt, isn't he? That one again cut off. Morton, can he use it? Just too tall for Newton at the back. It's not Newton's law at the moment. Things are not happening for him. Here's Bowden.
No, he's not getting his hands to the apple. Hislop's got the ball on the wing. Tigers need to shake things up right here. Bowden gave it to McMahon. Back to Bowden. Bowden slow to find a way through. McMahon, crowd getting restless. Connors sends it long down towards the pocket. Trying to work in front down there. Doing well was Frawley. Melbourne really committed for the moment. Brown hard against the boundary line. Hand passes back to Bowden. That's a clever kick.
Smart kick.
Marked by Jackson. It'll take a good kick from here. About 35 metres out, 10 metres in from the line.
Frawley's a good matchup for Nathan Brown too. He can go with him in the air. He's got good body strength and he's actually got good speed for a big kid.
The Tigers needing a goal. It's been one-way traffic in this second term. In fact, one-way traffic since midway through the first term. Tigers started on top. Jackson, terrible kick to the opposite pocket. A lot of players around the ball. Martin goes back with intent and punches it across the line.
Kicked the last 6 goals, Melbourne.
Friendly fire there.
Simmons and Johnson. Polo, little give. Kick from Collins. And marked by Davey.
Melbourne are winning the 50-50 balls too. The contested possessions, they're doubling Richmond in this quarter. They're just not working hard enough inside the contest, Richmond.
So Davey, 30 plus possessions the last 2 weeks for Davey against Collingwood and also against Port Adelaide.
2 metres
Frawley.
forward. Kick it now. Yours.
Good kick to Sylvia. It's been important, Sylvia, in this patch, and that's a superb kick. That can hurt. Bennell running through. Can he use the footy? It looks like it. Well, that's the best transition we've seen today.
Geelong would have been proud of that.
That was great. Frawley's kick was a beauty. It penetrated.
Oh, Petterd's played. Oh, sorry, Tim Petterd's gone on short. Miller back to Petterd. Now, what does he do here? He misses.
Tried the old boomerang, but they were 2 good kicks. Frawley off half back, and then Bennell through the centre of the ground. That was a beautiful kick. I don't know why Miller, we've seen him play on twice already in this game, why he doesn't go back and have a set shot.
Delidio, a couple of possessions there, takes him to 6 for the game. He's the player they need right now. Martin wins a one-on-one. Teams up out there with Bruce. Getting through Johnson. That was clever. Sylvia's away. He's looking good this afternoon. Bacon square, heads for home goal. Wow.
Wow, indeed. I'm struggling believing what I'm actually seeing out here today. I thought Richmond would give a strong account of themselves in the areas that I thought they'd be really good at, the areas they're really bad at the moment, and that is applying pressure. There's been a real knock on them all year and all last year. In fact, for the last few years that Terry Wallace has been coaching about their inability to tackle, and we haven't seen any change whatsoever in that thirst for that part of the game today.
Well, the heat's on in that box right now. You've got to be patient at times, Tim. In the 0-3 draft, McLean was taken at 5 and Sylvia at 3. I reckon in the last 10 minutes, they've both had as good a 10 minutes as they've had for ages.
Yep.
I know McLean's been a good player with injuries, but Sylvia has not delivered in 7 seasons, but he's delivered in the last 10 minutes. They've kicked the last 7. Bartram, well, that's not good. Brown, and that's going to roll, and it's a behind.
If you go back to that first quarter too, and the 4 posters they had in a row, I mean, this could be a lot worse than what it currently is for Richmond.
Tommy Hafey there.
I'll tell you what Tommy would be saying.
Kick it long.
Get the ball and kick it long.
I reckon the big worry right now for Melbourne, can they play Richmond back into form?
They need to be careful. Morton did well. Davey. Bruce around the outer side, down towards half forward. It's 2-on-1. Well, Miller didn't need to go to that pack. Newman at the back combines with Rance. Well worked, comes across the ground. Now Jackson. Just beyond the kickoff line, short. Simmons. Jackson runs it up in the shadows, goes to the outer side wing. Son, a bit of a problem out there. Marked okay by White, though. White goes down towards half forward. Opportunity for Bowden. Bowden, beautiful pass, Richardson. Well, if ever he needed to kick a goal, it's right here. Matthew Richardson. He will kick from about 25 metres out. He missed an easy one earlier. I said last week he was a little frustrated with the service he got. In he comes, kicks, gets the goal. A spark.
And how many times have they turned to him over the years? Still their best player at 34 years of age. Matthew Richardson camped inside, deep inside the forward line, but he's been starved of opportunities in this quarter because it's been the Melbourne midfield that's been clearly on top. They used the ball well on that occasion when they went forward, but they just haven't really had enough opportunities for their forwards to play any big part in this game whatsoever. And again, Melbourne at the other end of the ground, had they been able to play that a bit smarter, they had a 2-on-1. They should have done better.
On the previous entry into the Richmond forward line before Richo took that mark, there was no key Richmond forward to take a grab. Richo was up on the wing, Simmons was in the ruck, and Morton and Revolt were on the bench. So what the runner did, he went out to Richo, told him to push forward. They were trying to stretch the Melbourne defence early in the game, but on that last occasion, they had no key forwards.
Yep, well, they've given him plenty of space now, Rick, as we saw on the screen a moment ago.
I'm deadly serious. Thank you. Straight back.
You've got to make an attempt to get rid of the ball then. Jones just didn't want to cough it up.
Not even when the umpire told him to. McMahon, Richardson trying to impose himself here. So the Tigers, Bowden becoming important again.
Yours.
Now Connors, not a bad kick, giving Brown half a chance, but Frawley's been a good match.
He's a really good matchup for Nathan Brown, because Nathan Brown would like to think that he's going to play on someone of similar size, someone who can outmark, but Frawley's that little bit taller, and he's got a good strong body on him too.
Big 10 minutes for the Tigers here. They look as if they might come back. Morton. Warnock to Morton. Now he wants to go to McLean. McLean's had a very good first half.
Good decision.
Yep.
Terrific.
Did well to Newton. No Brad Green, of course.
This has to stick.
Yep. Can Bate make it stick? Sylvia couldn't quite. And now Rance. And then Rance to half forward to Morton. So the two Mortons involved here together. 1-on-1. Like the backyard. And Mitch might have kicked it nearly. Richo got a big mitt to it, but it's rolled through for a behind.
So it's a lot about decision making, isn't it? You see Brock McLean, a great decision to get that first kick off, and then Melbourne came back inside. It was such a dangerous kick to try and hit Bate on the lead like that.
Bennell, terrific. Around the boundary he goes, creates a loose man. It took two to get him down. Jetta towards the middle, half volley. Bate left it behind, goes back after it. Rance ties him up, and the umpire will call for it. That was an amusing moment on the outer side when Mitch Morton looked up and saw his brother. He hesitated for a moment. That recognition thing, just a little chuckle, and then he went on. Young'un knocked out of there by Johnson. Taken by Bruce, who made his debut against the Tigers. Sweeping hand pass. Finishes up with Miller. Too long. Oh, wonderful chase by Nahas. Brought him down. Hand pass comes across to Jackson. Around the outer side, it's gathered by Deledio. Untidy. Tuck tries to go back to Deledio. Taken by Bowden. He's been very good in the last few minutes to Tuck. Down towards half forward. Morton slides in. Well, he's been paid the mark. The umpire guessed. Morton's got the footy. Comes in short. Crowd not happy. Kick inside the forward 50 from Colin. Richardson. Single-handedly, he's bringing them back.
Here, mate. We'll keep going forward about a metre. Just there. Thanks.
Just too slow there, Miller.
Or maybe Nahas too fast. No, you're right, Tim. But Nahas really closed on him. So Richo. "35 metres out." Therein lies the problem. I talked about his criticism, his body language last week. Kicked a goal moments ago, but sometimes it's like Michael Jackson accusing the rest of the Jackson 5 of being erratic.
He misses a few, doesn't he, Dan?
Too many.
But he always gets a few.
Yeah, oh yeah, great player, but he's got to understand that he breaks the team's heart sometimes too.
Not sure if the Jacksons realise that, but anyway, here's Dunn. I reckon Richo's a quicker learner than Michael Jackson. Short to Rivers. You could do a PhD in that, I reckon. That would take a while to work that one out.
I think you get a government grant.
Bruce. Bruce back. Well, Tim, we talked about whether Melbourne could play Richmond into form here. They haven't quite done it, but gee, Miller's made some errors in this match, and Jetta a moment ago when they were streaming forward. Now, why Meeson didn't go to Bruce then? Bruce was 30 metres in front of him and loose, and he's gone back to Frawley.
Look, I reckon there's a time to monopolise the ball, but I just don't think it's right at this moment for Melbourne.
But now, and one of their really good decision makers is going to hospital right now in Green, isn't he?
That's right, and there's another really good decision maker on the bench at the moment in McLean.
And Bartram saying, now what do I do next?
They're inviting pressure here, Melbourne.
Yeah.
This is exactly the wrong play at this stage of the game for them.
Missed the target, back to Morton. And again, his brother puts the tackle on. Oh, they're flirting with everything here, Bruce. Of course he's gone.
God only knows why they decided to play like they have in the last passage of play.
Well, Richo decides not to take the shot.
Do that.
And I reckon the Demons have successfully played Richmond back into this first half.
You said they might.
And a young team can do that too. They can lose their way very quickly. And Dean Bailey talked about the inconsistency across 4 quarters of football, how they're trying to repair that. Meeson had the ball down here on the wing. He had Bruce ahead of him. And if it wasn't going to be that kick, at least they could have gone inside their attacking 50. It was pretty much one-on-one contest all the way.
So, big moment for the first gamer. And he sneaks it through. Well done, young man. 19 points the difference.
And there's a bit of spirit there from Richmond too. Just about every player on the ground, in fact, every player on the ground has left his position to go and congratulate Collins on kicking that goal. But you'd have to say it was Melbourne that drew the pressure themselves.
And Bartram at centre-half back stood there and remonstrated with the players up the ground. I hate to see that. As though nothing was on. What are you doing?
So 4-6 to 7-7. Ricky mentioned Andrew Collins before the match and just his battle to get into this team. And you just saw the response from the Richmond players. It was terrific. So what can Melbourne do here? Something positive, you'd hope. Foley back to Collins. Couldn't quite hold it going forward though, Hislop. Pressure on. Bartram, oh, that's well done, Nahas. And the kick is a beauty from Foley to Richo. And Collins has got 2 in a minute.
There's a major momentum shift and swing now in this game.
Bartram's been in the middle of both of them.
Yeah, it just beggars belief sometimes when you watch modern day football why players think that they need to go into that mode of playing the game.
And twice in the last minute or two, Michael Jackson or Matthew Richardson has gone off centre stage to give it to an underling, hasn't he?
He has. Oh, well done.
When John Meeson had the ball on the wing a few minutes back, which started that chain of kicks, it was actually Cameron Bruce that ran past John Meeson, and the instruction was to him was to hold it up and keep possession. So it's just a young bloke following the instructions of a senior player.
Well, he followed it to the letter. That head in there belongs to Sylvia.
Do you wonder why Bruce is on the bench? Perhaps it was bad advice.
Who snitched on him?
Ricky.
I reckon
Well,
what
maybe the coach can lip read.
Melbourne at the moment, they've got Bruce and they've got McLean on the. They really need them out there for this last 3 or 4 minutes of football. They need that power, that strength around the ball, and that experience.
26.
Meeson getting the free kick. The two big fellows, both of them inexperienced. Colliding there, went Melbourne's way. Just kick the thing,
Just
please.
kick it to the top of the square. You got one-on-one contest.
Gives it across to Davey. Beautiful. That was a good choice by Meeson. Realised that perhaps Davey is a slightly better kick than him.
But your first point was right, though, Dennis. If you look up the field and what you're looking at is one-on-one contest, go to it.
Must.
You're not going to be outnumbered at the fall of the ball. Defenders get jittery when the ball comes in quickly and there's with great penetration.
And it's a misnomer. This, I constantly hear people talk about a 50-50 contest. Well, no contest is 50-50. If the ball is kicked properly, someone, hopefully your man, has got an advantage. 60-40, 70-30.
It's a long kick, this bloke.
Sorry. Dunn.
I'm with you, though.
Will kick from about 60. Sends it on its way. The Demons could do with a goal. And by jingo, they've got one. Good call, Timmy.
Well, that is against the run of play. And he started his football done as a forward. He was tried last year as a run-with type player, played those negative roles, but they got the ball in the right player's hands in the end there in Davey. I mean, he is a good distributor of the ball. And that's the one they needed. They really did need that settler, didn't they, before half-time?
He started the day running with Richardson when Richardson was playing off the wing. Well, it's been an interesting first half, hasn't it?
Been a beauty, though, hasn't it?
It's been flawed, but, boy, you can't take your eyes off it.
No.
So 8 goals to 5. It's like Melbourne know where they're going. They just don't know how to get there.
Been a while.
Meeson, Sylvia. Sylvia's been very good. Kicks it inside the 50. Dunn with an appetite. Miller's had an up and down first half like his team. He did well there to Dunn. He took too long and Bowden was very good. Dunn back to Morton. Morton's underground. Sylvia did well, didn't fall over. Dunn trying to seduce a free kick and then puts a terrific tackle on. Bate should get a free kick. And he's back.
Melbourne were terrific.
And isn't that a great sign? When a side loses the momentum, what they did, they look like they're going to fall apart, but they've had now the poise just to come back. They've worked inside the contest. Dunn's been really good in this last couple of minutes.
And Colin, Sylvia too, Tim. I mean, just a couple of
That's a great sign.
There.
Yeah, great sign to see him just bursting from the centre. This bloke, he'll make the distance. There's no question about that, but at times his kicking can be wayward.
Well, you haven't been wrong today so far. I was going to leave it to you. There's Bate. That looks good. It's a goal. Gee, that's a big minute or two for the Demons. I reckon he is a bit of a barometer, Tim. I said earlier in the match, he has the potential. He's 21 years of age, I think, to be a very, very good player.
What I like about their forward line at the moment, Melbourne, though, is the fact that they've got Bate there who does push really hard to the ball, and so does Lynden Dunn. We've seen that in the last couple of minutes. He's one of those forwards who likes to go to the ball. He's not expecting the ball to come to him. They've got Miller, who's a tough nut. He's deep in the forward line too. Petterd's down there, and also it looks like Jetta, they've got a ground level. So their balance is enough, really, to keep the Richmond side, the Richmond back line, off guard.
So problems again for Terry Wallace. Moments ago thought he was out of the woods. Matthew Bate, at least 1 goal in every game this season. Bruce is back on the ground, needs to kick it, goes out very square, touched off the boot, going back Hislop on the ground. Hand passes from lying on his back, coming through his Rance. He got it from Polo, sends it out towards the wing. Now a chance to build. Collins gave it to McGuan, gets it back. He's already kicked 2 goals, goes looking for Richo, and why not? Bounces off his chest and goes out of bounds. Throw in at 60 metres.
Good play there by Johnson just to fill in that hole. He's playing back there now as a spare player in front of Richo. That's his job, just to occupy that space that they leave for Richardson to lead into.
Tossed in. Meeson in front. Fell at his feet. Sylvia going nowhere. And half-time, of course, now. Melbourne needs to guard against going in and thinking that they're home. Thinking that they've done a wonderful job and just resting on their laurels. So much more to play for. The Tigers certainly will be incensed at half-time. Should be very emotional in the Tigers' rooms.
Yeah, no, stay there, stay there.
Umpire will do it again. We're down to a minute 40. Melbourne needing to hold here. Tigers wanting to get it down to Richo in the square. Simmons in front, reaching over the top. Richmond got the tap. Opportunity for Jackson going nowhere, and the umpire will bounce it once more.
Well, this is great by the young Melbourne side too. They've turned this into a real battle. They've pushed their numbers up around this stoppage, and the whole idea here is to get their hands on the ball. Then they'll need to share it and just chew up a little bit of time. They'll know how long there is to go on the clock.
Deledio. So Melbourne playing it on their terms at the moment. Bate did very well. And so did Bruce in the end, and now Foley was fantastic to tuck, and that's not so good.
Bruce must have thought he was running out with the Tigers after half-time there. There must have been, what, 10 around him.
Glad he doesn't suffer from claustrophobia. It was in tight. Davey back.
Can they control the ball for a minute?
Well, here's McLean's on here. Richo's going to come and cut that option off. Back to Johnson. Johnson's been pretty good in this first half. He's got McLean very long and very wide. It gets to him now. McLean's been a star. Dunn did well. Can he get away from Moore? No, Moore's got him. Play on. Bate. Well done, Rance. Back to Dunn. It's too slow. Far too slow.
Had to give it to Bate then.
And then Rance kicks it out on the floor.
Their last two kicks, Richmond's last two kicks from tuck and then Rance have actually gone out of bounds on the full. I love the way that Dunn pushes hard to the ball, but at times he just doesn't show enough poise and composure, and his computer just gets stuck on the wrong solution.
Mason just chips it over the top. Now within scoring range, the clock is down to 30, and McLean's got it. It's taken plenty of time.
This is a really difficult angle here, but he's well within his distance too. He's a lovely kick.
Interesting in the square. They've got a few leapers down there, Melbourne, and Richmond giving them space to approach the football. Miller and Mason hanging back off the footy, not forgetting Bate. Meantime, the kick comes in.
Oh dear.
That was terrible defence, absolutely terrible. There was 15 metres in front of those blokes and no one filled the hole. Miller got the goal, and that could be a defining moment in the season for both these clubs. All the time in the world, McLean was taking forever to kick it, and Richmond simply couldn't be bothered. 10-7 to 5-6. Richmond coming off in itself could tell a story.
That would have been a real challenge for him at half-time, Dean Bailey, because they're in uncharted waters. They rarely go in at half-time with such a big lead, and calming down the young players and just getting them to focus on what they have ahead as opposed to what they've actually done in the first 60 minutes of football.
Just to put it into perspective, they've only been in front 3 times under Dean Bailey at half-time, and the biggest lead they've ever had is 9 points. So, you know, it's unusual.
Yes, uncharted waters too for the coach. I mean, who knows? But we're about to find out. That's the great thing on what's been a most enjoyable afternoon so far. 5 goals the difference, but you feel it's far from over. Plenty more twists and turns to come. Seeing if there are any structural changes. Miller deep in the forward line, been very good with 3 goals. Start of the second half of the MCG. The margin is 31 points. Melbourne on top in this battle of the cellar dwellers. White does well, tackled by Morton, held to him.
My ball.
This first 5 minutes will tell us a lot about Richmond and how they're going to approach the second half. They would have got a rocket at half-time. They would have looked at all the things they did wrong in the first half, but they've just got to come out and they've got to start winning the contest.
Tuck goes after the footy. Got a hand pass away. White tackled immediately by Davey, wrestled down. And the umpire, well, I was going to say, we'll bounce it again. Apparently that was holding the ball.
Aaron Davey, your kick.
Wow. So Davey's got the football. What would be best for Melbourne would be an early goal.
Beautiful kick.
As he goes down towards half forward. Bate, normally stronger hands than that, spilt the mark. Another scramble.
Line again.
Players just realising
All hands on
what's
it.
at stake now. Interesting, both these
Let each
teams
other
didn't
go.
play yesterday, and their situation improved on the ladder with Fremantle kicking 4 goals. That's right, 4 goals last night.
So let's see how this first 5 minutes unfolds. Tim talked about McLean and Sylvia have been so good today.
Beautiful.
And that is a beauty to Newton.
Well, so good has Sylvia been that Jackson, who's the hard tagging player for Richmond, has actually gone to him. Just lost him at the stoppage.
He's had 14 disposals, Sylvia, and most of them have been good. He's kicked a couple of goals. And Tim, as much as you'd love to have been a fly on the wall in the Dean Bailey dressing room, I reckon if you had a choice, you'd rather have been in the other one.
Lynden.
Just to feel what was going on in Richmond's room.
There certainly would have been a contrast between the two dressing rooms at half-time.
Well, Newton's kicked a couple of behinds. This is his chance to really stake a claim in this match, and they got that goal that they wanted.
And that is a brilliant start for Melbourne, and that's what Dean Bailey would have had to say at quarter time. Look, it's not about what we did in the first half. It's about this next contest, and after that it's about the contest that's ahead of us. That was a beautiful kick, a beautifully weighted kick. Look at that. There's only one player on the ground that can mark that ball, and that's Newton. So beautifully balanced was that kick and weighted to his favoured side.
While I was standing outside the Melbourne rooms waiting for Dean Bailey, there was a huge amount of noise and enthusiasm coming out of the Melbourne rooms. But on the other hand, outside the Richmond rooms, it was deathly quiet. It just goes to show how they started this second half.
Mason wins it down. Deledio needs to lift. Tries to hand it across to Rance, who did well to win it out of there. A hand pass untidy from Newman coming back. Plenty of Richmond players around the footy. Tuck a chance. Good tackle by Maloney. Deledio once more. Goes back across half back. It's taken by Polo. Squares it. Bowden, clever. Kicking down towards half forward. That's good use of the footy. White lays it off. Morton runs to 55 now. What's gone on off the ball? It's against White.
You grabbed him. You dragged him down. Go through.
Rivers to get the free. Watch it. Ooh.
Play on.
Still, you take it. Davey's got it.
I'd be sending a message out to Bartram too, who was just wandering into the back line there, not even watching the play, which was coming towards him. It ended up being about 15 metres away from him.
Kick it now. Play on.
You've got to have greater awareness than that when you're out in the field.
So the D's lead it by 6.
Nothing there. Play on.
Good stretch there by Newton. And then Bate.
Get out. Holding the ball. Richmond's free. Richmond's free kick. Holding the ball. You're just holding it in. Play on.
So the Tigers quickly away. Deledio, can he turn it on in the second half? Nahas, who had a very good tackle in the first half. That's a poor handball. Put Simmons under the pump, but he went back and got his own ball, and then to Revolt,
He's been quiet.
who we've hardly seen. That's a reasonable kick, though, to Connors.
Play on.
Tigers. So Connors kicks to full forward. Richardson pushes in the back and kicks the goal.
Ball clear.
I'm very keen to have a look at this again,
Me too.
because it appeared from where we were sitting that there might have been 2 actions here. Here's the kick. This is a really dangerous kick from Revolt, but that opened up the play. I mean, sometimes you just got to take a chance like that. Here's the kick into Richo. Now he's behind Warnock. He did move Warnock off the line of the ball. What did he use? Well, he used his elbow. Now, technically, that's okay. It was still 2 actions.
Matthew Richardson, 6 marks inside the attacking 50. The rest of his teammates have taken 3. Is that a double action? You decide. Richo didn't wait to find out. Point blank range, put it through. Goal for goal, third term. Richmond can't win by doing that.
Great tackle.
That's why it becomes so critical now for them to win these midfield battles, and Deledio has had a couple of possessions already in this second half. They look dangerous if they can get the ball in there quickly. Richo 1 out, Brown 1 out too, although Frawley's done a very good job on him in the first half.
Simmons goes after the footy, then left it behind. Deledio tries to dig it out. Went to ground.
Line again. He didn't dive on it. He fell to the ground, went back. I'll have it.
Umpire Wen.
a lot of players around the ball, but Melbourne have just been more powerful around the contest so far. That's been a real win for them.
Melbourne played some irresistible football in the second term. Dunn.
Came out in the tackle, lay back in him, play on.
Nahas was taken high. He'll get the free kick.
Free kick. Robbie Nahas for a high tackle.
Hard not to. He's the smallest player in the AFL at the moment.
He's inside the centre square.
And had a couple of disposals in this term, so he's been busy. Connor's getting a little bit of it. Run down, but got it out. Rance didn't really look. Shanked it forward. Frawley had a terrific first half. That's a good pickup under pressure, and Jones did well. Davey set Bartram a task, but that was good to Jones. He's kept his cool to Bruce. Heavy traffic. They're doing okay. Bartram to Meeson, to Martin, to Davey. That's a great kick. Oh, this would be some goal if they get it. Jetta, what a good bit of footy.
No! Why does he want to do this, Brad Miller? He went to play on again then. For the third time in this game, he's had the ball inside 30 metres, and his first inclination was to play on. Now, that says to me that he's a very nervous set shot for goal.
It's kick 3 today. Gee, that was good play by Melbourne. When Davey gets involved, things sort of happen. Miller, is he bringing it back? No. Oh, you got your answer maybe, Tim, but he was 3-3 going into the day from set shots so far this year. 11-8 to 6-6.
They were bold off half back there, Melbourne, weren't they? They took
Michael, that's it.
and made the most of half chances there, but fortune favours the brave. There were some brave disposals in that.
Ball at half back now. Bowden found Collins, who wants to break. Does. Hand passes across to Foley. Foley comes across the ground. Nahas looking a different player at the moment. He's got the ball on the wing. Comes down towards half forward. Here's Brown. Tracking him at the present time is Bruce. Brown pulls it back towards centre half forward. Melbourne in best position to mark down there. Spilt by Rivers. Runs in front. Opportunity for Foley. Slips it away to Collins. Liked his game. Through the legs of Revolt. It goes down towards full forward. Peeling off down there was Warnock. Richardson gets the footy. Tries to pull it back. Touched on the line. Johnson goes after it. Johnson picks it up. Well done. Great Johnson Trajan. The ball on the outer side taken by Morton. Sweeping hand pass. Jones can run it around the outer side wing.
Got an injury with one of the umps in the middle here as Melbourne play some exciting footy. Maloney back to Jones, running hard. And Jones almost to Miller with a big stretch. Newton going well. Newton, little gift to Davey. And Davey kicks the goal of the match. Great stuff.
Well, there you see the umpire. It looks like he may have crashed into a player. He's come off the ground. He looks particularly sore at the moment. He may have done his ankle. He may have rolled that in the collision, but it was just wonderful. Jones, hasn't he taken on the game in this second half already? We've seen him carrying the ball through the middle of the ground, but that was the handball that set up Davey and then the goal. But wonderful play too, deep in the back line from Johnson, just to take that ball across the goal line. And that's when they got the 1-on-none and started their move forward.
That's a couple of times now. Exhilarating stuff by the Demons.
There was a clip just at the top right hand corner of the screen there. The umpire just clipped. It appeared to be Jones, maybe rolled his ankle in the process. And there's umpire, is that Scott McLaren, who's already umpired this weekend on Friday night?
He's the emergency.
Was he just adjusting his bionics then, was he?
Not sure what he was doing.
Checking to see if Shane O'Brien was under that shirt.
I think he was just fitting his armour.
Are they scientifically programmed now?
Oh, well done by White. Well, not so well done. Petterd, the first to react. Bounces out towards the wing. Polo, tackled by Davey. Melbourne, relentless at the present time. Rance goes after it. On his knees, Maloney. Somehow got it out. White taken to ground. Gee, it's tough in there. Richmond win the tight one this time. Foley feeds it back on the outer side. A little too nonchalant by Bowden. Eventually gives it to Collins. Misses the mark with a hand pass. Nahas, blistering pace. Bounces off a would-be tackler. Well done by the young fellow. Goes down towards half forward. Terrific. Rebolt wheels around. His third kick sends it down towards full forward. They need a mark. Richo hit the pack hard. Taken by Connors. Lays it off. Brown bounces it through for a goal.
Well, he's looked lively, Collins, but I tell you, Brock McLean, it shouldn't have been a bump. It should have been a tackle.
Yeah. And Maloney missed a tackle here as well, Tim. That one there.
They're just the little things, but they have to keep the pressure on Richmond, and they let them out then when they shouldn't have let them out.
He had Nahas, didn't he?
He had him. He tried to hurt him in the end. He thought, OK, I'm going to bump him. I'm going to cut him right down the middle. But in the end, it just had to be a strong tackle and bring him to the ground.
Well, it could be coincidence, but the two guys that have kicked the goals over the stretch, Richardson and Brown, have got their goals in this quarter.
Revolt's just starting to come into the game too.
Well, it's goal for goal. It's good stuff. End-to-end footy for the moment. McLean has been very, very good. Miller and McGuan. McGuan's got to keep hold of him. Miller got it out. Bate and Polo. Well done, Bate to Miller. Had to try and get it back. He did okay. And then Bate still going. Has to get it out. Does in the end. Newman. Danger, danger. Bowden. Oh, there. Is that deliberate up?
Beautifully disguised him.
Wait.
Well, there's some nervous players out there deep in the defence as the Tigers come forward again.
Rance to the wing. Hislop had it punched away. Clever by Morton. Hand passes towards half forward. Newton heads it back towards the middle. In desperate trouble, Jones came out the back door, but couldn't release the footy.
It's an interesting 5 minutes of football now, isn't it? I mean, Richmond are on the charge. Can Melbourne answer that? Because you just don't know how many times the Tigers can actually keep coming in this game before they get completely depleted of their confidence.
Clever hand pass from Tuck, gave it away to McMahon. McMahon's hand pass finished up with Bowden. Bowden gave it across to Delidio. Kicks inside the forward 50, getting a fist on it. Warnock. Nahas has been everywhere in this term. Stumbles, still going. He's kicked a goal. Terrific effort. Going it solo.
He's the smallest player out there, had 7 disposals in this quarter. Delidio also just coming into the play. That's where he does his best work in the midfield. Good defensive play there by Warnock, but Naha just able to twist and turn, get himself out of trouble. But that was the easy part in the end. It's just a matter of keeping your composure and your poise when you do that and then finishing off your good work. But he's providing some inspiration for Richmond in this third quarter.
Has a game high of 7 disposals in this term with a couple of clearances. Played the one game only for Richmond at this level against the Cats. I think he was the best young player in the VFL last year. He got that medal. He's still a tiny top, but he has made a difference in this quarter. And Richmond have got the scoreboard ticking over. They need a shootout right now. That's their best chance. McLean gets a second crack. Should have left a pat for Maloney, but he's a fighter. McLean gets it to Bruce. Maloney provides the Shepherd. Bruce with a third bounce. Can he deliver? Goes to full forward. Meeson was slow off the mark. Moore will try and get away to Rance, to Moore. The Tigers are starting to build. Moore's run a long way.
Oh.
Back here.
More than enough.
No, too far. Yeah, got you. Just here.
Gee, they've got numbers on here too.
Oh.
Well, Newton's a pretty long kick, actually.
Go to the top of the square.
It's been a good move for them top of the square today, hasn't it? The way he kicked the earlier goal in this quarter, you give him a bit of a chance, but he's decided to go short. Petterd's got it. He kicked a goal earlier as well.
The other thing about going to the top of the square in this third quarter is the fact that the sun is in the eyes of the players there, so it's going to make it really difficult, not just for the forwards, but for the defenders also, who actually try to find the forward in the contest.
And the thing is, the arriving forwards, the Crummers, have their backs to the sun as they arrive, so it's all the wrong way round for the defence.
Huge kick here. Can he get the distance? Well, he's got the distance. Petterd, it's coming back a bit, but behind. So he's kicked 1, 2. It's still a pretty cosy lead on the board, but you feel like this game is tightening, don't you?
It doesn't feel like 28 points, does it? There's more. His long run out of defence. Umpire deemed it too long. Out of the back pocket, McMahon. Oh, short of the target, going back. Dunn got a hand to it, knocked it out of bounds. Jackson not altogether happy. 82-54. Midway through the term, bit of talent looking on. Our man Robbo enjoying this. Here's Demons, long-suffering Demons, in a position to win it. Chance for Sylvia. Hooks it inside the forward 50. Chopped off by Bowden. He's played pretty well this afternoon with some dash. Untidy hand pass. Collins liked him. Now they move it to midfield. Delidio's kick not so good. Forcing it forward towards half forward. Richmond will see a boundary throw in. In fact, that was Tuck and not Delidio.
Angus.
Delidio was free, had his hand in the air. He was in the middle of the ground. He was going to be the option, but Tuck just couldn't see him.
So Meeson and Graham. I think Meeson's done all right today in those encounters.
Well, you talked about it before the game too, Bruce. 5 very young players playing for Richmond. It's going to be a tense, tight last quarter of football too, so they have their inexperience out there on the ground too. We talk a lot about how young Melbourne are.
Well, Richmond have got 5 that haven't played 10, and Melbourne have got 9 that haven't played 30. They're high numbers. And there'll be players out there that haven't played in a winning team. A lot of them, you would think. So it's going to be a big moment in the next 40 minutes, one way or the other. Dunn was a hot handball from Maloney. Delidio did well. Jackson back. Collins squares it. Revolt couldn't quite. Burnell, he's done well. To Jones, who's had a very important quarter. That's dangerous, very dangerous. Oh, well done, Bruce.
Hasn't he taken them on this quarter, though? Jones, I mean, the number of times where it's looked like he's going to turn the ball over, he's going to be caught in a tackle, he just wriggles himself free.
If I say so myself, Dennis, well done.
Here he goes again.
Here he is again.
Bruce.
So it was a wonderful kick too from Jones. They combined brilliantly there to get Melbourne out of a hole. In the opposite direction, McGuan, Collins, Newman, Delidio, Bowden to the wing. Polo tracks it. McLean comes to meet him. Now McLean actually was tackled by Polo as the kick comes in towards full forward from Graham. Whistle and a free kick is going Melbourne's way. It was going to Martin, and now Frawley given the advantage. He's been a very good player despite the fact Brown has kicked a couple of goals. He's worn Nathan Brown like a designer t-shirt around the outer side towards half forward. Big leap from behind. Newman got a fist on it. In front, close to the line, Petterd. Down goes Moore. It's out of bounds. A boundary throw in. 54 plays 82. Under 8 minutes till three-quarter time. So often so much drama lurks at the foot of the table. We're seeing that exemplified this afternoon. Jackson had it, lost it. Meeson did brilliantly. Bate wide of the mark, out of bounds on the full.
He deserved better than Bate. He actually applied the tackle and forced the turnover.
You've got to give it back to him. Yeah.
So we heard the umpire against Davey. These,
yeah, mate. You just let it go. You've got to give it to him. Run it out.
These are the little big things that can make a difference. McMahon running hard, a bounce, and now goes to good kick. Got Richo. So Bate misses at one end. Davey, you know, does something a little bit lethargic, maybe half silly, and now Richo's going to kick a third.
Your game.
I am. He hasn't wasted any time. He has got 3. The gap closes.
That's 7 marks inside 50 this afternoon for Richo now, and he stands as the bloke that can actually win this game for the Tigers off his own boot. They just have to get the supply, but if you allow a player like McMahon to run down the field like that and then deliver the ball inside, there has to be pressure on that last kick inside the 50. there's no defender in the competition will be able to stop Richo from coming out and taking that mark. So there needs to be more pressure up the ground. That's where they've been good for most of the afternoon, Melbourne.
The reason why Aaron Davey was so furious before when he threw the ball on the ground is because he came off the bench, went into a forward pocket, and Richmond didn't wake up to it. He was sitting there for about a minute or two. All he needed was Matthew Bate just to kick it to him. It would have been a certain goal.
Well, Bate was under a fair degree of pressure, we've got to say. Throw against the Tigers.
She's had a quarter, Jones.
Hasn't he? He's up to 14 possessions now. It was reasonably quiet in the first half, so the bulk of those possessions have come in this term. He unloads for the spiral. Never easy to mark. We spoke of the Sun moments ago. Moore did okay, though, to Rance. Now coming through in defence, Newman. Or was it Bowden? It was Bowden who gave the hand pass away. To the outer side, it finishes with Revolt. Revolt kicks inside the forward 50. Vital contest. Deledio, it's Brown in there. Brown, a hand pass only as far as Bennell, who kicks it out towards the boundary. Tracking it towards the line is Dunn. Oh, he's going to be lucky here, Dunn. He was very lucky. He went to ground long before he arrived at the ball. And the penalty goes against the Tigers.
You just feel there's a bit of a momentum swing at the moment too. A lot of Richmond players are getting enormous amount of space they've been denied for a lot of the game.
They're getting run out of halfback with Bowden and getting the loose man going up, though.
And that's why it's so important, though, that last kick for Melbourne inside their own attacking 50 hits the target.
So Rivers was a poor kick. Davey was brilliant there. Now Bruce looks up and decides to go with a long one to Newton. It's a great kick. He's got it.
That's the one.
Yep, over the top's a hard one for any defender, isn't it?
That is the best kick in football.
And Tim Davies' ability to make things happen.
Neville, clear out.
He just created what was a half chance into something that they could do something with. So Newton's becoming an important player.
You can't defend that kick. That's where the space is. You turn the backman inside out. They hate running back to those balls.
And this will be like a little knife, not quite in the heart, but sort of in the, I reckon, in the arm right now. Tigers won't get a lot of chances.
Better placed in the leg, I reckon.
He's missed.
Oh.
Well,
that's a nervous kick.
I said he's becoming an important player. He hasn't managed to get there yet. He's kicked 1 goal 3, and that is his second really bad miss today.
Just tried to guide it through, didn't kick through the ball.
Newman to Bowden. McMahon to White. He takes off around the outer side. Clever comes back towards the middle. Polo under pressure.
Throw.
A throw, Melbourne's advantage.
Think your way through this.
Can he kick this time? He has. Newton gets his second.
And that was a critical turnover. The difference between that kick and the one he had 30 seconds ago, he had too much time to think about the other one. He just tried to guide it through. He did what he does instinctively there. There's a good kick over the top there too. And that was into space, running back to goal. And they're impressive, Melbourne. Every time Richmond challenge them, they find something, they dig deep, they kick a goal, they just slow the momentum. Bruce has been off the ground for about 5 seconds. He's back. McLean's in the centre too.
Melbourne have kicked 3-4 to 4 goals in this quarter, so they've held Richmond.
They've got their tough nuts in the centre there too. At this centre bounce, Sylvia, McLean and also Bruce.
And Tim, today their tough nuts have been tougher than the Tigers, that's for sure. They've won most of those hard battles. McMahon's look away handball, Deledio onto it. Penetrating kick to half forward. Melbourne with some numbers. Bruce has been a good player. Warnock didn't take control of it, but he did very well to Martin. Good job by Simmons. Back to Warnock for
push
a
in the back. Oh, 50.
50. I've got it, mate. I've got it. Kicked it away well after the free kick, mate.
They're just playing for each other more than the Tigers, aren't they?
Yep.
I mean, everything is designed for the team every time they go in numbers.
Just kick it up, Paul. Matty Warnock's kick.
So Melbourne with a chance to reset here. And you would reckon that Richmond could not afford them to get another goal in front than what they are now. They can't get any further in front. They're within 5 goals. Another one and you reckon it's going to be too much. McGuan, there's a good tackle on him. Hard ball at centre half back.
Brown Simmons coming away as Newman goes to the outer side. Connors. Arm was taken by Rivers. Connors will get the free kick. Free kick tally, Richmond 10, Melbourne 20. Now McMahon again takes off around the outer side. High ball, all Melbourne coming back.
That, Dennis, was a great chase then from Lynden Dunn too. It was a flat out chase and he put McMahon under pressure for that kick.
Frawley growing in stature this afternoon towards half forward. Punched away by Rance from Newton. Newton lays a tackle. Moore got it over the top to Rance. Now Jackson needs to control it. Closing quickly as Sylvia. Certainly as Sylvia's had his moments this afternoon. Again, that was one of them. Foley's hand pass not effective. He goes after his own football. Tries to dig it out. He threw it out. Jackson has it. Little hand pass across towards Polo. Polo waited. Deledio cruising past. Oh, terrific on the angle by Warnock. Able to knock the ball down. Bruce a hand pass. Rivers at left half back. And the danger is past.
Got to look inside. This bloke will.
Davey. Meeson. He's some hope, Meeson. Hand passes to Bartram. Bartram gathers the ball. No one deep. He's got a problem. He sends it long. That was the position, the kick of last resort. Hoping the sun would do something, but Graham just dropping back, able to take the mark. McMahon again around the outer side will run it for the Tigers.
Goes short.
He was looking for Newton, who just come off the ground injured.
He should have gone short because Miller presented. He's not the quickest thinking player, Bartram. Jetta to Bartram to Bate on his wrong side. Well done, Graham, the big fella. To Bowden. Bowden to Revolt's had a better quarter, but that's not saying a lot. But he has at least got hold of it a bit in this term. Morton kicked an early goal. Haven't seen a lot of him since.
Oh, that's a good kick.
You said it, Tim. Well, what do you reckon? From here, Richo?
He's 50-50 from here.
Matthew! Matty! Mark's here!
It'll favour his curve, won't it? He brings it right to left on most occasions.
That was a good curve from
Matty, just don't jump over.
Morton to Richo.
I think he's better from this range, though. He tends to kick through the ball when he's further out.
He's had a big match, Richardson. That's not going to come back. So a lot of shots for goal. He's kicked 3. Need another one, you reckon, don't you? Just.
Oh no, there's still. I think they're still well in this game, the Tigers. Well, 28 points.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, all Melbourne have to do, Tim, is kick 3 goals in the last quarter, and that might make it hard. But anyway, there's a bit to go.
Davey in the goal square. Fair to say, the best football of the game has come from Melbourne. Well, 2 players rather tentative going at that one. Frawley gets a second chance. Well, in trouble, McLean, and his hand pass charged down. Brown's kick inside the 50. Well done, Davey, and again, strong tackle. Ball jarred loose. The bodies go in willingly. They'll have a ball up about 40 metres out. Clock is down to 32 seconds.
3 great bits of play there from Aaron Davey. The interception, the tackle, then the follow-up again. Great stuff. Look, his Revolt's just dropped off the back of the contest. Johnson has to come to him. That's smart play too, because he's trying to double team Richo in the goal square. Revolt just dropping off the back has forced him now to come out from the goal square and pick him up. Now he can drop back and add some support to Warnock, who's got his hands full with Richardson.
Talked about Davey, Tim. He's had 5 tackles in this quarter. Deledio kicks towards
Here he is.
Richardson. Now Bartram to Martin, and then Martin's kick to Petterd. Couldn't quite take the mark. Newman, not much time remaining. Bowden, long way from goal though. We know Morton's a long kick, but he's going to have to go now, and someone's going to have to take a mark. Well, this ball's in the air and it's not going to be a score. So Richmond huffed and puffed a bit, didn't they? But they only took 3 points off the Demons, and at 3/4 time, with again a lot of feeling here, as it was before the game and at quarter time. You reckon Brock McLean would love to say a word or two, get in the air. It's 89 to 61, and what's been a real wrestle in terms of trying to get an ascendancy. Literally was, again, just there. So Melbourne lead it. Both searching for a win over the Tigers. It's 13-11 to 9-7.
I think Ricky and Scotty West used to be neighbours growing up. 13-11 to 9-7. Melbourne have let it every change, albeit they got to the front late in the first term, led by 3 points, then 31, now 28. Final term at the MCG.
Knock it out!
One down by Graham. Sliding in is Bate. Going after the football is Tuck.
It's out!
Falling to the ground, Graham. Maloney got a hand pass out of there. High tackle, and it's going to be a free kick to Richmond. Advantage is paid. Kick comes inside the 50 down there. Jackson's kick spills behind the pack. Taken by Brown. Back to Jackson. High ball down towards full forward. 2 Melbourne players up. Falls in front. Bartram. Maloney. They'll bring it away. The danger is past, at least for the moment. Bruce runs it up the ground. Intent on drawing a man. Did. Connors went to him, which released McLean into the wing. He kicks it down a half foot. That's a poor kick. Moore takes the mark.
Gee, that was a poor kick then by Brock McLean. Cam Bruce did the right thing, recognised they had a 2-on-1, drew the Richmond player. That really opened up the play for them, and that kick there had to stick.
McMahon has had a lot of the ball in the second half. Bowden's had a lot of the ball full stop. And that's a good mark by Morton.
Jared, no, Mitch!
Did well, didn't he?
2
Protected the
metres,
ball with his
Jared.
body then.
And there's nothing more Rivers could do in that occasion. Morton's dangerous kick to Richardson. Well done, Warnock. Bartram did well there. McLean. Bruce has had a good game. Rivers. So there's a little bit of the experience for the Demons, particularly with Bruce. Petterd and Miller. Good mark, Miller.
Hand in the back!
It's a free kick anyway. That's a great grab.
That was a brilliant mark. Courage by Petterd too to go back with the fly of the ball. This is the bloke that Ricky talked about three-quarter time that they need to nail.
Well, he set Johnson a task here. Now, can Jackson get the footy off him? No. Johnson's little kick cut off by Deledio. Back to Jackson. He should have done better there, Melbourne. Davey's kick just wasn't quite good enough, and now McMahon's away.
Kicks it down towards the attacking 50, peeling off. Warnock came to the football, played it well, gave it to Martin. Bartram with some time. Spears the pass into centre half back. Sylvia, well, knew Morton was coming, treated him with scant respect. Comes to Polo, high up and under. Coming back, Martin, he won't get there in time. Richo takes the mark.
That was disappointing play then from Sylvia.
Yeah.
Had 2 players free. He just had to think his way through that better than what he did. Good tackle though, locked up in the tackle. And Richo, the 3 times the ball's come forward for Richmond this quarter, Richo has ducked out the back. Again, he did that. This time he was lucky.
Kicked 3 goals this afternoon, and he's missed this one. Just hanging it out to the right. Moments ago, Sylvia just didn't give the tackler the respect he was due. And now Davey popping up all over the place, goes to the pocket.
She's a big miss, isn't it? I mean, it's so obvious, but got to nail those.
Gee, this is an important kick.
Richardson did brilliantly.
Had to punch.
Yeah, let it go, let it go. It's a mark. It's a mark. That's it.
Well,
That's his 10th mark inside 50,
Yeah.
Richo. They set the trap
And
well
if-
then, Richmond.
Tim, if you thought he was going to take 10 inside 50, you'd probably think he'd kick 6, wouldn't you? He's kicked 3-3. He may end up with half a dozen. But he probably needs to kick 5 or 6. He needs 2 or 3 in the last quarter for Richmond to win, you'd think. He's their best chance. And that one's not going to make it. And that was belted away.
That's better.
Yeah, got to wait for the signal of the goal umpire. He didn't signal. He must signal, then you can kick it in.
That's a real penalty for Melbourne there, because the last time they had the kick out, they got trapped. Now, this has given Richmond much more time to set up their zone.
Tense time in there. Here's Davey. Generally makes the right decision. Whoops. Bartram. They've got the overlap here. McLean drives it up towards the wing. Petterd will need to go. That's a good result. He played it very cleverly. Angled himself so that if he couldn't take the mark, it would finish up where it did.
They have the first signs of a cramp too.
It'll be a test for everything that these football clubs stand for, including fitness. Opportunity for Graham, got it from Foley, feeds it back. Bowden, so much of the footy goes along the line. Polo straddled the line, kicks inside the 50. Morton within range. Morton 55 metres out, kicks and misses to the near side.
That's a disappointing kick. That should have gone to the top of the square there. Richo had space.
So they're peppering, aren't they? Richo's had a couple of shots. They've been from, well, one from long range. Morton there. I'm with Dennis. I think Morton had a real chance there, and he probably rushed it a bit in the end. Here's Miller.
That's a good kick.
It's been good, Miller. Jeez, he's worked hard.
He does work hard, doesn't he? He started in the middle of the ground then to provide that lead.
Sylvia's had a good match except for that moment before.
That's a good kick.
Yep, they've got a chance here. Maloney playing his 50th game for the Demons. Gee, Meeson, and well done, Bowden in the end.
Play on that fight.
One thing that can't happen today for Richmond is for Melbourne to get the first goal of the last quarter. Newman to Graham. Bowden so often the link.
Bowden from half-back, kicks beyond the wing. Martin needs to get it on the ground. Well, Simmons couldn't hang on. In goes Jackson. Simmons over the football, stumbling. Emerges with it. Going back is Polo. Deledio thinks his way through it. Back to Simmons. Simmons goes towards half-forward White. White about 85 metres out, goes to the centre. All Tigers there, taken by Morton. Morton to Foley. Inside the centre square to McMahon. Now he can run at them, decides against that. Just kicks it across the 50. Moore the defender. 40 metres out. Kicks a goal. Tigers still alive.
Well, that's a good finish from him coming all the way down from the back line, but at this stage, Richmond are just getting too much uncontested possession, and that means that the work rate has dropped off for Melbourne. Now, either that's a mental thing or that's a physical thing. They are just becoming tired, and Dean Bailey has talked about that a lot. Even during the week, he said, we just have to be able to put 4 quarters of football together, and that's what they've been incapable of doing. So this is a real test for them this last quarter.
So the defender gets the goal more. And this is the closest Richmond has been in the second half. Playing
Dunn.
one man down to Melbourne, of course, and that fatigue could be a question.
That's right. He's a midfield type player too.
What are you going to say about Dunn?
He's gone to Deledio now.
Jackson. No mark. Warnock and Richardson, a pivotal duel here. Yep, good decision. Ump was in a good spot. Warnock's been aggressive from the word go. He was reported before a kick was laid on the ball today, and the Tigers got that goal. Here's Jackson, terrific tackle. And then Bartram, who's had a pretty good last 15-20 minutes, pushes it forward hard, and Melbourne get it past the centre line.
Good result for Melbourne. Boundary throw in.
No one in their attacking 50. Newton had to push up the ground. He's now taking McGuan back to the, well, he's not even going back to the goal square, so they'll have to be smart with their use of the ball. It's in good hands.
Here's Davey across the ground. Jetta inside the centre square. Runners cruise past. He uses them as a decoy.
No.
70 metres out. Not a good kick. McGuan goes back, takes the mark. McMahon is running for him. Deeper still is Hislop. He comes the other way, though. Bowden, generally so reliable with the football in his hands. Takes a risk. Foley rants the youngster. Where will he go? Back to Bowden. Not bad policy. Bowden looks up the middle. Spears the pass towards White. Bennell did well. Knocked it on the ground. Jackson a fumble. Couldn't control the football. Nahas went in, won it. Foley on the burst. Through centre. Taken by Brown, who's been very quiet. So too this man. Deledio. 60 metres out. Long kick. Richardson goes back. Wonderful by Johnson. Johnson didn't appear to be looking at the football, but somehow knocked it across the line. And the rear vision mirrors.
Good call, Dennis. Yeah, he did well. They've kicked 4-5 to 1-4 in the last 31 minutes, Richmond.
They're in control at the moment. But when they go forward, they've got to kick goals.
Dunn. And one goal for Melbourne will
Yeah.
make such a difference here, won't it?
Look at this.
Dunn's on to Jetta. Important little kick here, and he's found his mark in Miller.
You love seeing a young player learn from their mistake. About a minute ago, he had a kick into the forward line, and he chose the wrong option. He had to lower his eyes. On that occasion, he decided, OK, I'm just going to lower my eyes, and it was Miller that was presenting. It was a beautifully weighted kick. And this guy has provided a target for the Melbourne midfielders all afternoon.
Well, he didn't want to play on this time, Tim. He's decided to take his time. He was the leading goal kicker at the club last year. Only 26 goals, admittedly, but he's kicked 3-2 today. I reckon if he kicks this, he's in the votes. He's been a very good player today. That's not coming back. So misses at both ends in this last quarter. 3-3 to Miller. And I reckon he matches Richo. Yeah, they're both sitting on 3-3, the key forwards.
He was never confident with that kick, though, either, was he?
Newman to bring it in. McMahon chips it back to the corridor. Rance wants to play on. He likes Joel Bowden, does Rance. Polo, left half back. Where will he go? A lot of black and gold in the corridor, but he hangs along the wing. Taken by Collins. Been good on debut, a couple of goals.
Move it on.
His 17th possession, told to play on. Collins between the lines, half back and centre wing, just pops it up. This is dangerous. Davey knocked it down in front. Chance for Melbourne. Taken by Jetta, goes across the ground. Petterd the man, going back. Oh, they all meet at the football. Wonderful courage by all involved. Graham, big turning circle. He was slung holding the ball.
Great tackle.
One opportunity. Ricky Petterd, your free. Thanks, mate. No worries.
Was it Petterd that went back with the fly of the ball then?
Petterd.
She's got some courage, that kid, hasn't he?
Remember, he had
fantastic.
the punctured lung here, didn't he?
Yeah. This is a great tackle too.
Like I said, it was Graham, it was Polo.
He looked like he was away then, Polo. A jumper tackle, slung to the ground.
I knew there was a revolving four in there. Now Petterd's got it. The pivotal kick, perhaps, of the match. Petterd comes in and splits the middle.
Wayne Campbell there, just making a suggestion to Terry Wallace about a move that possibly they can make.
And Tim, look, it's a cliche in footy, but they've got to roll the dice, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
But they've got to get their better players in and around the ball now. It's Delenio, Foley, these types of players who have got real pace. Yeah, and they can break the line because they have been in control in general play. They just haven't been able to kick a big enough score.
It's tight in there, isn't it? Can they make a difference? What can
They've got plenty of time. There's still plenty of time on the clock. 26 points, 5 goals.
Simmons over the top. Can the good Richmond players, the ones that, when I say good, those that are experienced, can someone make the difference here? McMahon's high ball. Richardson's off on the target. Couldn't quite get to that. Sylvia talked a lot about his game today. Maloney, it was a good kick, wasn't it? And Maloney's done some good work. Speaking of good work, Miller.
I've liked the way this Melbourne forward line's operated. They've changed their starting positions. They've kept the Tiger back line guessing all afternoon. It's a small forward line, but they've worked really hard to create space for each other and present.
So Petterd, short, missed by Morton. White, who's a ball carrier, but he's got a fast man chasing him down in Davey.
3-on-1.
Martin. Looks like he's going to make a very good defender, Martin.
Look at this. In the centre, Dunn.
Mason to Warnock. Here's Dunn alongside the centre circles. Just sets it up. Tailor-made for McMahon. Been holding on there. McLean tracks it towards the boundary. It's out of bounds. It'll be thrown in. I suppose if you've followed these two teams in the last few seasons, it's never easy. Well, it's certainly not that now. The fans on the edge of their seats. Mason knocked it down in the opposite direction. Rance, they pinball it around. Tuck's kick was smothered, falling to the ground. He did pretty well. McMahon, Bowden, How many possessions is this for Joel Bowden? 40 coming up as he goes down towards half forward. Richardson attracts a crowd, and that's the danger, constantly going to him. He's the man they trust. Knocked across the line by Rivers. In fact, it's going to be a free kick to Melbourne. He was taken high by Richard. Rivers. Ooh. McLean. Clock is down under 9 minutes now.
Move it on, Brock.
The margin, 26 points. It was 28 at three-quarter time. So for all their dominance and effort, Richmond really making little inroads.
Got to get it on here to Bartram.
Kick from Bruce. It was a good mark in there. Down to the pocket, Bartram. Still going, Bartram. Knows Newman is bringing up the rear. Newman trying to fend them off. It was unarmed combat there by Newman. He had the ball tucked under one arm and he was fighting them. Or rather, Newton. Did I say Newman? Newton. Boundary throw in.
Too slow then, Cam Bruce getting the ball on.
Graham lays it down. Davey always a danger. Collins, Davey, and Melbourne have got it in a good spot for them right now. Davey dangerous at the stoppages, isn't he? He's the guy that you'd want to sit on right here, I reckon. He's the one that could do something. Oh, it's a good tap. Well done by Tuck. Deledio.
Play on! Play on!
They need 10 great minutes out of him. He does take a chance, a bounce, and then delivers to half forward. Not a great kick, though. Warnock always had a chance there. Johnson's played well. To Morton. Done some good things.
Richmond has to make a move now, though. Melbourne have got 2 free players across half-back. They actually have to just, even if it means cluttering their own forward line, if they keep playing the way they are now, Richo's going to be contesting against 2 or 3 players at a time. They've just got to send those players up the ground.
Bruce to Miller, and he did play on to Davey. Brilliant pick-up. Left foot kick. High and slow, and Newman able to get it away from Petterd.
The game was there for the taking. Bate was 30 metres in the clear.
Well, Richmond right now are looking over the precipice in this match. There is no room for error from this point on.
Nope.
Everything they do from this point has to be clean and fast.
Bowden. Collins liked his game.
Okay, they've sent players forward now, so there's one-on-one contest all the way up the field.
Bowden, clever. Trusting in Collins. Collins does well. Earned that trust. The hand pass to Tuck inside the forward 50. Brown needs something here. Wow. Like he came off the top rope. Down he went. A hand pass into trouble there came from Frawley. Wonderful snap. Deledio's put it through.
Well, there's a difference. I mean, when they actually went forward that time, Richmond, they had one-on-one contests in their forward line. Here's a contest with Nathan Brown and Frawley. He's been terrific, Frawley, in those one-on-one battles all afternoon.
He's in the eject seat, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We're talking about their super players, though. Deledio's one of their super players, made something out of absolutely nothing there to kick that goal. And there's still time on the clock if they're good enough, the Tigers.
Well, the Melbourne players have to really dig deep to hold the Tigers off. In the last few minutes, Davey's come off the ground. He's really struggling. See, he's there getting some work on the hamstrings, just complaining a little bit of cramp. Jones came off. He was hunched over, really sucking it in. And Sylvia also came off cramping. So the engines have been really tested here.
Well, Meeson's tap was a beauty to Jones, but the captain did well there, Newman. To McMahon, they're going to run hard here, continue to attack. As Tim said, there's enough time.
They've got a 7-man forward line now, but that's okay. At least they got one-on-one contests. They've just got to get there quick.
Bowden to Moore to revolt. Good set up here. Let's see if this kick can be a telling one. It's a high one. Richardson and Warnock. He's got it, Richo.
See, Macca, that's the difference. There was not another Melbourne player who was free that could come in as that third man. They're all engaged.
He's kicked 3-4, Richardson. 11 marks inside the forward 50, and the Tigers have got a chance. Their champ kicks his 4th.
And if Dean Bailey sends another defender behind the ball, Then Terry Walsh sends another forward, and they were smart because that 7th forward that they had before the ball arrived actually pushed right up to the wing. That engaged the Melbourne player. When they went forward, that's the one-on-one contest they need. They know that they're a winner in that contest there. But as soon as they've got another player that can come in and influence that contest, that's when it's a win for Melbourne.
.799 career goals for that man. And now the tension changes boxes slightly. Dean Bailey looking on. Now the ruckman touched the ball. Maloney out of the middle. 15 points the difference. 5.5 minutes to go. And Richmond seem to have the legs at the moment. Polo.
50. Now Melbourne have to really push back in numbers and block the space. Johnson's back there. He's playing in front of Richo.
Go back. Time off, play on.
Foley kicks inside the 50 once more. Big pack at the drop. Almost a mark down there to Morton. Spills behind the pack. It was Connors who got his hands to it eventually. Comes out wide.
Miller's on.
Meeson beyond the wing. Now Miller, who's been wonderful. Kicks for Newton. Can he fly from behind? Gave a contest. Spills to Jetta. Jetta across the body. He may have kicked it. No, it's a behind. 16 points the difference. 5 minutes to play.
Jackson. Bowden, well done by Rivers. He just worked him underneath it. Sylvia. Jones, very good.
Here. Oh.
And Jones has got a couple of options, and that's a wonderful mark by Newton.
Stay there, Chris. Nicky.
You made the point before about Brad Green not being able to play any further part in this game, gone to hospital, had a cheek injury, jaw injury. And this is where it's really critical. They're down that midfield of Melbourne. They're down that rotation, the ability to be able to rest a player and then bring them back into their midfield.
Well, can he close the deal here? He's had a pretty interesting match, Newton. He's done some very good things. He's kicked a couple, he's missed a couple. This is his toughest kick of the day. And across the face. And it's out on the fall. So
Brad Miller, yep.
Richmond
Brad Miller to me, please.
with a chance still to set up, and certainly still with a chance in this match.
White, a little chip out of defence. McGuan, or was it Tuck? Tuck up towards the wing, taken by Jackson. Jackson goes inside the forward 50. Richardson is running hard. Couldn't get to it on the full. Accelerates away from Johnson. A magnificent snap, just misses. He gave it everything then, Richo. A behind, and the margin is back to 15 points. 14-15, 12-12. Frawley in the back pocket.
Joel, that's it. Joel.
The time now, the enemy of the Tigers. Frawley kicks it up towards the wing. Petterd will need to go. Did brilliantly. They stayed either side of him. He split the indifference, went up and took the mark. Hand pass comes from Bate. McLean under the chest of McMahon.
Well, he's gone back, and they can't go back too often. They're setting up, though, more. Danger. Foley. Jones. Well done. Tackled. Miller. This could be it. Newton. Has it got the legs? Is it straight? Does it get the right bounce? No.
Yeah, Jetta running in space towards goal too. He just had to turn his head inboard and he would have found Jetta.
It's kicked 2-4 Newton. Richo's got 4-5. Miller's got 3-3. There've been a lot of chances. Still, these teams haven't been in winning positions, particularly Melbourne, for a while.
Well done by Martin on the outer side. Benell. Now Sylvia trying to find a way through. Too ambitious. Not the time for heroics out there. It's going to be a Tiger free. Will it be 50? No. Crowd want it. Well, the Tiger fans do. Towards half forward. Now a Melbourne player has conceded a free. We're down to 2:20 though. It goes against Morton and will be taken by Delidio, coming up for his 22nd possession. Clock continues to run. 16 points the difference. Goes in short. On the outer side, Morton, who started with a long goal this afternoon. Just sets it up. Big leap at the back. Simmons hands to it, couldn't hang on, and the ball is locked in. Umpire will bounce it. Clock stops at 1:58.
Every Melbourne player, bar 2 now, are in their defensive 50, so they're trying to block up the space and outnumber the Tigers here.
Got to get a goal from this stoppage, you'd think. Morton, good tackle, Rivers.
No ball. No Fryer.
Miller's now drifted in too, so there's only one player. That's Jetta, who's outside the defensive 50.
Good shot from above, just showing you what the challenge Richmond have got here to try and get something out of this. Meeson. Tuck. Gets to Bowden. Well done, Bowden. On the wrong foot for him. To the goal square. Richardson outnumbered. Miller getting back.
Oh, well, he's done it at both ends, Miller.
Yep.
He's been terrific, hasn't he, Miller?
He's been outstanding this afternoon. 17 disposals, 10 marks. He's kicked 3-3. Probably just blotted his copybook with a couple of those. It should have been a 5-1 game for him.
There's Morton in the back pocket. It's funny, we still don't trust Melbourne, but we're down to 125. I think they've got it. They lead by 15 points.
That's it.
No, they can ice it from here.
Play on.
Outstanding performance by the Demons. They played some very good football. They played the better football this afternoon when it counted. Dean Bailey enjoying it now. In the back pocket, it's Johnson. And suddenly, Terry Wallace's vision for Richmond has become a cracked windscreen on a P76.
Don't you love to see that from a young player? Rance ran all the way up the ground then to spoil that, and as soon as he did, he's just acknowledged his teammates and saying, come on, we're still in this.
So Simmons, Delidio's had a better second half, but it's been too little too late for a few Richmond players today. McGuan. Can he long bomb a goal? He can. It's a goal. So Moore and McGuan have kicked goals in this last quarter from the back for the Tigers. Dean Bailey knows how long there is to go. So does Terry Wallace. The players don't. Well,
I'll be surprised if he doesn't send back the cavalry now, though. He knows there's 34 seconds on the clock. He can see the monitor in the coach's box there. He's instructing now to his runner to get out there, make sure we get as many players as we possibly can behind the ball. They'll have a 2-man forward line when this ball's bounced in the centre of the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 defenders.
They need 9 points. They've got 34 seconds. Well, they need 10 to win. Jackson's in there after the football. Ideal result for Melbourne. It stays in there. Clock stops at 27. Well, the guy...
They were a big story last week. Richmond, they're going to be a bigger story this week.
Well, Melbourne chuckling in the box. Letting it safe. Davey goes after it. Newman crashes to the turf. Gets a hand pass away. Taken by McGuan. Kicks with the outside of the boot. Morton's got it. Morton wheels around. Deep in the pocket. Snaps, misses. And that will do it. 10 seconds. In fact, the clock now at 8 as it freezes. And Davey to bring it in.
How much of this game do you reckon Dean Bailey's enjoyed, though, this afternoon?
It's hard to tell with him, isn't it?
So Frawley asked to go. Back to Davey. What a win. And at the same time, what a loss.